always wanted to be a firefighter.
It's wild. It's a wild feeling, definitely.
I love the excitement.
We got a victim on the right side of the room. We need to go get him.
Scary, very, very, very nervous.
Everybody's running out and we're running in.
Amidst the flames are men and women risking their lives to save you.
Definitely not a hero. I wouldn't say that.
While they may not agree that their actions are heroic, they do agree on one thing: firefighting isn't easy.
Well, they think all we do is sit around and play checkers.
Firefighting is hard. Most people think that basically firefighters hang around the station and they just hanging out waiting on the fire calls. But there's more to it than just that.
When we don't run calls during the weekdays, we are trained constantly.
Training to fight fire, training for search and rescue, training that never ends.
And don't think you know it all, because you don't never know it all.
For one day, these Taylor's firefighters took off their gear and handed us the hose. A small taste of life both in and out of the fire for myself and photojournalist Mark Warren.
All firefighters have to be fit for their turnout gear to where it fits them properly. Air packs have to fit properly. Their air masks are fit tested once a year so that they have the right size mask on.
Taking a deep breath and hold it and tell me when you're ready.
If the seal breaks, they could be breathing in toxic gases or smoke.
Like when I started, we had air packs, but if you couldn't eat smoke, you didn't need to be a fireman.
With fires reaching heights of 1,200 degrees, turnout gear protects you from both the heat and the steam of putting out a fire.
You're carrying actually about 50 extra pounds when you go in. That's just your turnout gear and your air pack. You add tools to that, anything from axe, Halligan, bars, hose lines or anything, that's just more weight that they're carrying in.
About that air pack, something else that takes some getting used to. 35 pounds of life-saving fuel strapped to your back.
Okay.
Now you're not breathing the air we're breathing. All your air is coming from that cylinder.
If that air runs out, the tank is equipped with an alarm and a secondary hose so another firefighter can give you air until you both can get out.
I trust them with my life and they trust me with theirs, so you got to have that in this job.
Once we were suited up and fitted for our masks,
Is that gonna work? I think that's gonna work.
Looks good to me.
it was time to learn the equipment.
The hose line also, you have to drag it through, make turns around corners, up and down stairwells and things of that nature.
But if the fire's big enough, they attach a hose here and can spray 2,000 gallons of water a minute from 95 feet in the air.
But as the old saying goes, when the ladder goes up, the roof comes down. You got 8 pounds per gallon of water, you got 2,000 gallons a minute, that's 16,000 pounds a minute of weight we're putting on top of an already burning structure.
We've gone over the air pack, the fire hose, the truck, and what we're up against. Now we're ready to go in.
We're gonna get out. Get it.
When the emergency comes in is when all the chaos starts. They go in, they do their job, they know it's a danger.
The scene was set.
The danger doesn't bother me. I mean, it's basically second nature to most firefighters.
And the firefighters in place.
There's really nothing I'd rather do than this job.
We were headed in. The firefighters took us through the process as if it were a real fire.
Our first priority is life, and then property.
Starting with search and rescue.
You don't know who's in the house or if anybody's in the house.
Bypassing any small fires to save the people who may be trapped inside.
If we didn't have this camera, I'm going to show you what it would be like for them trying to find him.
That's the way it was done before thermal imaging cameras. Now, the same technique is still used, even though we have thermal imaging cameras. Thermal imaging cameras just aid and assist us in being able to see better.
Thermal imaging cameras use infrared to detect heat, so you can clearly see if there's the body of a person, even a pet.
They're staying on the left-hand wall doing a search.
That's the whole point of a thermal imaging camera, to reduce the time that you have to do search and rescue so that you can get the victim out and hopefully save their life.
When I tried to pull the victim out, I barely made it myself. The firefighters say this dummy weighs about 180 pounds, less than the weight of an average person. Could you imagine if the victim were upstairs?
We just had one last year where 3 of our guys saved a lady off the 3rd floor.
Once all the people are safely out, that's when the focus switches to the fire.
Once you go inside of a burning building, you learn very quickly that all the heat rises to the top, so you need to stay low.
Sounds like a simple task, but with 50 pounds of gear strapped to your back and a hose that weighs just as much, crawling to a burning room can be tough.
You get tired, but you keep going because somebody's got to do it.
That's our job, to come in, put the fire out, make things safe, and try to control the situation.
That's heat coming through. That's the fire on the other side of it.
Sometimes the fires are out quick, like in our practice run here.
Fresh air.
I made it! But even then, training is far from over. Video of the fire then serves as a teaching tool.
When we get done with the fire, we come back to the station and we'll critique the fire scene, see what we could have done better. Things sometimes go wrong. When they go wrong, we have video evidence. We can take those things and we can learn from those, where we don't make the same mistake twice.
Mistakes that are sometimes unpreventable,
And I have burnt my mustache off a time or two on top of a house.
but are less likely to happen when you train like these guys every day.
I wouldn't change it for the world. Wouldn't go anywhere else. Love it here.
They love helping people, they love helping their community, they love being a part of the world and their community out there and just making a difference.